Get on in here. I need some water, but I don't have any here. So, don't have any tea. I got an empty cup of coffee that I should have taken to the dishwasher, but I forgot it. Justin came over and time just flies when you're having fun. He and Robert went out in the woods and looked for trees. They got a tree cutting appointment tomorrow. Anyway, get on in here. Let's get some stuff done and let's just sit back and relax. Been I talked to Patty this morning and she had an idea. Our fly baby had an idea that she they wanted all the Ask Fly Lady questions, all the Thursday shows in one playlist. And I thought, well, I can do that. I can go back and add them to that playlist, and it's real easy to find them. They're on Thursdays. So I'm gonna build a playlist that is just for Ask Fly Lady shows, and we have tea time lists, so we'll just do an Ask Fly Lady list. They also had another idea about doing a show once a week as to what zone we're in. So zone one starts. It should start. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit tomorrow with a zone one mission because zone one starts on a Saturday, which is the 1st of March. Can you believe it's already the 1st of March? And we're going to do a show about zone one. And I'm going to do a show about zone two and zone three and zone four and maybe some other rooms because in our control journal, we talk about those detailed cleaning lists for those things. And I want to print all those out and kind of go over them so that we will, I'm probably pull them up on my iPad right here and look at them and it'll be fun. It'll be so much fun to have zone one, zone two, zone three, zone four, zone five. And zone three is the main bathroom of your home and your kids' rooms, your laundry room, your office, your craft room, you name it. We'll just talk about it. And we'll keep them 20 minutes and then if you want to play them over and over and over again, you can do that. We can upload them to TikTok to give people um, a way to do things, and I think it'll be fun. So y'all come up with some great ideas, and when we bounce off of each other, amazing things happen. So I am excited about the new things coming our way and what we're what we're gonna do, and it's all good. It is all good. To God be the glory. It just sometimes you need to try something new. And I'm going to put together an Ask Fly Lady playlist and put them in the. Don't tell them how many years I've got worth of them. I've been doing them since like 2007, an Ask Fly Lady show. I don't know if I can go back that far, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So, y'all, what's for dinner tonight? What's for dinner? I have just been chewed up by, I don't know if y'all can see it, uh, just the kitty got me the other day and it was bad too. It was, and I bragged about it. I got on long sleeves. He's not going to give me. He was eating my plant. I don't know if my plant's safe for him. My shamrock. I've got a purple shamrock in the kitchen and they were tearing it all apart. And I love that shamrock. It was a housewarming present when we remodeled. And I love it. But I didn't want my cats tearing it all to pieces and chewing on it. So, folks, get have you started your garden or started thinking about your garden anytime lately? I love having plants, but I'm in the woods and I really don't have any plants that produce food. I've made a few potatoes and different things, but I don't have any chickens. I'd like to have some chickens, but it's just not right now. I was listening to Miss Catherine at G&G Farms. I just love that lady. She is so precious. I mean to tell you. She is a wildlife rescue agent in the state of Alabama for deer, for fawns whose mothers get run over by cars or whatever. And she this year I think she had like 12 little fawns that she raised from babies. But she got a call, and this just brought tears to my eyes and tears to her eyes. And she got a call from Miss Brooke over at Cog Hill. Miss Brooke's been sick, so y'all keep praying for Miss Brooke. She's had this bad stuff going around, but it's not flu, and it's a bad cold. And it's not strep throat, and it's not this COVID. It's just a bad cold, and she has been fighting it like crazy. And she got out today, but she called Miss Catherine at G&G Farms, and a mutual friend. Well, I think Catherine may have just met Miss Laura, but Brooke is named goats after this lady, Miss Laura, and this lady at Simply Making It is her website. Simply Making It. I don't know that she does a lot of videos, but Miss Catherine did a little intro to her, and Brooke has been there in the past, and she makes goat milk soap. And she had the cutest little operation, but she and her husband raised cattle, and one of their cows gave birth to a blind calf, and it just broke Miss Laura's heart. She knew she couldn't raise it, bottle feed it, knowing that it was going to be slaughtered. So Brooke called Miss Catherine, and Miss Catherine went with medication and stuff after talking to the vet. It's got something bad going on with its left eye, and it's hazed over on its right eye. So Miss Catherine brought that calf home, and we got to meet the baby. And it just follows Miss Catherine around like it's just a puppy dog. It smells her, it knows her. And Miss Laura, that's why Miss Laura couldn't keep the calf, because they're beef farmers, cattle farmers, and she just couldn't do that, knowing it was gonna be slaughtered. Now I come from a long line of people who had a slaughterhouse, and I understand it. I've been in the slaughterhouse. I've watched them clean it, and it's spotless. I mean, absolutely spotless. Well, this is when I was a little kid, like 8 years old. But that's what happens to Angus beef. They get slaughtered. And knowing this little calf was going to trust not to ever be hurt because it can't see. Well, Miss Catherine decided, she prayed about it. She loved this. She loved it when she saw it. She's got her vet dealing with, his name's Dr. D. But it's hard. I have to bring it back home, y'all. If your home is not in order, you can't do things like this. You can't run out at a moment's notice with your doctor bag. Catherine's a nurse, a human nurse. That's what she done. But now she stays home and takes care of critters. She She went with her little case, and she'd already talked to the vet about what to do, and he told her what medicines to get, what to put in the eyes. One eye's just bulging out, and they might have to remove the eye. You don't know, but she named this baby Helen. Now, if y'all know anything about Alabama, you know Helen Keller was from Alabama. So this is a blind calf that Miss Catherine named Helen. I watched a movie about Helen Keller the other day. It's been 4 or 5 months ago. But I had no idea that they let her run their lives. Her father and brother and mother, the child was just wild. But that they needed a teacher. And Miss Catherine is the teacher. I'm telling you, if anybody can do it, Miss Catherine can do it. And it just breaks her heart when she raises things like the fawns. She can't even show us pictures of the fawns. They get taken and reintroduced to the wild, and but it's just a beautiful thing knowing Miss Catherine's everything is in order. Her critters are in order. Her she's got hay, she's stocked up, her home is in order, she knows what's for dinner. And if she doesn't cook dinner, her husband Tony cooks dinner. Sometimes he makes burgers and different things. He's got a little house that he hangs up all his he collects cast iron. I love cast iron. I've got several pieces of cast iron. I really enjoy cooking in my cast iron. But Tony will refurbish cast iron and use it to cook, and just they're just a sweet channel. G&G Farms, go check it out. Sometimes we need a cleansing, you know? You can watch me all day long, but I'm going to talk about cleaning and cooking and menu planning and all that stuff. Sometimes you just need a happy cleanse. Seeing a baby calf that's going to get loved for the rest of his life. And Miss Catherine, the mother rejected the calf. Usually, if there's some infirmity, mothers will reject it. So we need to pray for Helen, little Miss Helen, because Miss Catherine is going to make her well with the help of the good Lord. God loves his creatures. He loves his creatures. And Amanda Grace teaches us that. Amanda was an invalid. She was in bed with some kind of autoimmune disease. And God put it on her heart to walk down to the pond and feed the ducks. So she would take a loaf of bread down there, and she would. It got her out of bed. It was a long, hard trek for her to get down to the pond to feed the ducks. There were Muscovy ducks. And the next thing you know, there were other kind of ducks. And then there were chickens. And she has a tortoise. But God impressed upon her to take care of the ducks. Getting out and walking, getting in God's sunlight is so good for you. It is so good for you. Brooke's been sick. And today her video was about getting out in the sunbeams. You see critters taking in the sun. And she bought her critters 2 big old rocks. 2 big old 18, 20 inches. Weighs 4,000 pounds. A ton a piece. And she got her goats. They got their goats something to jump around on that would actually help keep their hooves manicured. It's like using an emery board on your fingernails. So watching these little farms brings back such memories of growing up. My granny Pickard had a farm. They had a sawmill and a farm, and They had chickens. One of my first memories is about 4 or 5 years old being chased by a rooster. And then Uncle Billy getting Granny Pickard reaching in to get some eggs, and there was a snake in the nest. And it had swallowed one of the nest eggs, which was a golf ball. I've seen Mike from Dogman. He's got like 5 chickens and a rooster, and he rescues animals too. And Waddles is just that. He had a leg defect, and they were going to kill it. He said, "No, I'll take little Waddles home with me. I'll take Waddles home with me." But these people have such kind hearts. Kind hearts. I mean, Brooke and Jason rescued a calf that had a swollen leg, knee joint that was this big, should have been about this big, but they rescued it. But they could. They could because their house is in order. They're ready for whatever comes their way. And then Brooke took the baby to Auburn to the university, which is their agricultural college, and they gave it a prescription of things to do and to how to physically exercise that joint to take the swelling out. They don't know if the mother stepped on it or something, but she has raised this baby, and her name is Mutilda. So, y'all, having your home in order frees you up to be everything you're supposed to be, to help God's little creatures. We have our fur babies in the house, and a lot of times they get sick, and we have to wait on them hand and foot and clean up after them. When your house is in order, it's wonderful. The blessings just blow you away. They just blow you away when you take the time to take care of you first. I mean, loving those babies probably has to bring. And Robert and I have rescued many animals over the years. One of them I will never forget was Harley. Harley was a red bone hound dog that Robert found coming down the mountain, and it was at the water, close to the water treatment plant that's on Cathy's Creek. And this poor red bone hound, hips were sticking out. He probably didn't weigh 20 pounds. And Robert comes home and he said, "Tomorrow sometime, will you go with me up into the forest and let's see if we can't rescue this dog?" And I said, "Well, we still got some daylight. Let's go right now." And so we got in the truck, went back up to the water treatment intake for the city water for Brevard, and I saw Harley. Harley didn't like men. A guy had mistreated Harley, but Harley took to me. He took food out of my hand. He let me pick him up. He was just 20 pounds. He should have been about Tulip size, about 50 pounds. And he had just wasted away to nothing. And I put him in the truck and we brought him home. And first we named him Rufus. And then we had to go to Utah. We drove to Utah for something. And Michelle stayed at the house taking care of everything. And she renamed that dog. I mean, that dog was living in a pile of clutter, a pile of trash. He had collected trash and made himself a warm place to sleep. He'd get up in it. God sent me a garbage dog. God sent me a garbage dog. So he would pull the rugs outside on the back deck. He got Michelle's Harley Davidson purse and pulled it outside and just started piling things up. And Michelle renamed, before we got home 10 days later, Michelle had renamed that critter to Harley, and it stuck. Well, Harley was just the sweetest dog, just the sweetest dog. And then one day, I went down the back steps to get some. I didn't have a phone with me, nothing like that. Went down the back steps, got to the bottom step, took a step, and what I stepped in was an erosion hole that was covered up by leaves. My ankle turned, and I went down. Well, the adrenaline rush that I had from falling from falling, just I fainted. I didn't hit my head or anything. I just fainted. Next thing I know, I've got a cross necklace on, and Harley, and I had really short hair then, and Harley started pulling at my necklace. He was he was trying to wake me up, pulling at my necklace. And he woke me up from where I had fainted, and stairs going down. It's like 20 steps going down our back deck. I was able to hop up the staircase and get into the house and call Justin. They came up, and I had sprained my ankle really bad, and I had to go to the ER. But that dog woke me up. That dog saved me. That dog saved me because Robert had gone to play chess, and he wasn't going to be home until the middle of the night, and I'd been outside. It was springtime, but it was still, that dog saved me. So when you treat a critter the way they're supposed to be treated, they're going to come back and help you, and they're going to remember. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. Y'all, that's my story for today. Love those critters. And the reason Harley was thrown out into the forest, he didn't have a collar or anything. It's because he had seizures. And people who raise dogs, they don't want dogs that have seizures. It's because they're inbred so much. And he had a seizure. He threw up behind Michelle's chair. Well, didn't I didn't want Michelle to clean up my dog's upchuck, and so I went over there and started cleaning it up. Well, Harley was still having the seizure, and I was over the top of him, and he bit me in my face, just hit me hard. And I stood up and I said, "He bit me." At which point I fell. I was right at the fireplace. I fell, and Michelle was across the living room, and she caught me. She said my eyes rolled back in my head because it was another adrenaline rush. I don't metabolize my own adrenaline. And I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, that it be healed and go back to the pits of hell and never bother anybody else again. And Michelle caught me and kept me from hitting my head on the fireplace, on the hearth. So that dog was precious, and my husband was precious. And he said, "Honey," when he got home from court, he said, "Do I need to take care of this?" And sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. And Robert is so tenderhearted. And I said, "No, honey, this was not Harley's fault. Harley was having a seizure." And and after that, he had 2 or 3 more seizures, and Harley passed away after only having him for 11 months. We love that dog. Harley is the video we have on YouTube of me using the purple rags to wipe down the back glass and clean the glass, and it was just muddy prints everywhere, and that was Harley. We saved Harley, and Harley saved me. So y'all, always be ready. If God sends you something to take care of it, do it. Do it. Pray about it. and it'll be okay. I love you all. I'll see you later. Bye. Be good, kind, and sweet. Be good to yourself. Be kind to animals. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And let that joy that's right here show the world who you are. Let everything you do show the world. Be an epistle to the world about Jesus.